Folate's contribution to bone health is an often overlooked dimension of this versatile nutrient's role in human physiology. While calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium dominate conversations about skeletal strength, folate plays a quiet but indispensable part in maintaining the biochemical environment necessary for healthy bones, particularly through its regulation of homocysteine, a sulfur-containing amino acid that, when elevated, poses a threat not only to cardiovascular integrity, but also to bone density and structural resilience. Homocysteine has emerged as a risk factor in osteoporosis, with multiple studies linking high levels of this amino acid to increased rates of bone fracture and lower bone mineral density, BMD. The mechanism behind this association is both direct and systemic. High homocysteine concentrations may interfere with the formation of crosslinks in collagen, the protein matrix that gives bones their tensile strength and flexibility. Without proper collagen integrity, bones may become brittle, compromising their ability to absorb mechanical stress. Additionally, elevated homocysteine can increase oxidative stress and inflammation within the bone microenvironment, which may impair the activity of osteoblasts, the cells responsible for forming new bone, and encourage osteoclast-mediated bone breakdown. This is where folate comes into play. As a critical cofactor in 1-carbon metabolism, folate is essential for converting homocysteine into methionine, a process that depends on sufficient levels of vitamin B9, as well as B12 and B6. When folate intake is adequate, homocysteine levels are kept in check, reducing the oxidative and inflammatory burden on bone tissue and preserving the quality of the collagen matrix. Individuals with folate deficiency, or those with compromised folate metabolism due to genetic variations like MTHFR mutations, may accumulate higher levels of homocysteine, thereby subtly accelerating bone loss over time. Beyond its role in homocysteine detoxification, folate contributes indirectly to bone-building processes by supporting DNA synthesis and cellular replication. Bone remodeling is a dynamic process requiring continuous turnover of bone cells. Osteoblasts and osteocytes must divide and mature properly to maintain skeletal integrity, particularly in growing children, postmenopausal women, and the elderly, populations especially vulnerable to folate deficiency and bone deterioration. If folate-dependent DNA synthesis is impaired, bone cell renewal may falter, weakening the framework that maintains healthy bone mass. There is also an emerging interest in the connection between folate and vitamin D receptor activity. While still speculative, some researchers propose that folate status may influence how vitamin D interacts with its receptor at the genetic level, potentially affecting calcium absorption and bone mineralization. Though more data is needed, this suggests a potential synergy between folate and other bone-critical nutrients, underscoring that bone health is a result not just of isolated vitamins, but of their coordination in metabolic networks. In observational studies, low serum folate levels have been correlated with reduced bone density, particularly in older adults. One study involving postmenopausal women found that those with higher folate and B12 levels had significantly lower risks of vertebral fractures. Another analysis revealed that people with high homocysteine and low folate had higher fracture incidence, independent of age or calcium intake. These findings suggest that addressing folate status may be an important, though often neglected, factor in comprehensive bone health strategies. Folate's role may be especially critical in individuals with chronic inflammation or conditions that accelerate bone turnover, such as rheumatoid arthritis or inflammatory bowel disease, where nutrient absorption is compromised and homocysteine tends to rise. For these individuals, optimizing folate intake through diet, leafy greens, legumes, citrus, avocados, or supplementation with methylated folate may not only support cardiovascular and cognitive health, but quietly defend the skeletal system from premature weakening. Despite this, public health messaging rarely emphasizes folate in the context of bone protection. This gap in awareness might be due to the nutrient's historical association with pregnancy or anemia, leading to a narrower view of its applications. Yet the science increasingly supports a broader narrative, one where folate joins the ranks of bone protective agents through a metabolic pathway that ties together amino acid regulation, oxidative balance, and cellular renewal. In this light, folate's influence on bone health is not dramatic but foundational. It doesn't build bone in the way calcium does, or stimulate absorption like vitamin D, but it ensures that the metabolic processes which protect bone quality and strength run efficiently in the background. By minimizing damage, supporting tissue integrity, and enabling cellular maintenance, Folate acts as a quiet safeguard for skeletal resilience, an uncelebrated ally in the ongoing, everyday regeneration of the body's structural core.